Hey friends, today's video is going to be a little bit different and really important in my opinion because I want to talk directly to the person who's thinking about joining a multi-level marketing company again. Maybe you've already been in one, maybe even more than one, and maybe, just maybe, you're feeling that pull again. You're hearing the same promises in a slightly different voice. Maybe the products are different. Maybe the company is different. Maybe a friend slid into your DMs. Maybe you're being told that this time will be different and you want to believe it because you've changed, right? You're stronger, you're wiser, you're more focused, more faithful. I've been there. I spent over 13 years in the multi-level marketing industry. I joined 6 different companies. I rose all the way to the top 0.38% of one of them. And for a long time, I believed that the problem was me, that if I just worked harder, if I just prayed more, if I just followed the blueprint, that this time it would work. It never did. So today, I'm going to be reacting to a video from a woman who just rejoined MONAT, for the 3rd time. And this is not a roast. It's not a takedown. This is a conversation, a moment of reflection. At least I hope it is. A gentle invitation to take a step back and see the full picture. And if someone is currently trying to recruit you or you're thinking about going back, I hope that you'll watch this all the way through. And I want to encourage you to look at this through a different filter than the one that has been programmed by your upline to think that anybody that doesn't believe in what you're doing is just a hater, because you're not alone in this story, but you do deserve a better ending. Let's watch her video together. I'll pause along the way to share some facts, some context, and some perspective. Let's get into it.
I joined MONAT 3 different times, and I used to be so embarrassed by that. Even with just saying it right now, I'm like, I'm really saying this right now on camera. But I joined for the first time in August of 2019. And at the time, I was turning 21. I'm 26 now. Yeah, I think I was turning 21. So at that time, I was turning 21. I was working at Supercuts as a hairstylist. I had been out of school with my license for 3 years, and I wanted to use a hair product that I used on myself.
Okay. First of all, please don't be embarrassed. A lot of people have rejoined MLMs not because they're naive, but because these companies design their systems to bring people back. It's a revolving door. That shame that you're feeling, it's not yours to carry. You didn't fail. The business failed to deliver what it originally promised you, what that upline originally promised you.
That I would be able to promote and sell to my clients, because the products that I was selling in the salons I worked in, including Supercuts, I just didn't feel like they were good products. I didn't feel like they would benefit my clients. They didn't work on my hair, so I didn't want to promote them to somebody else and they not work on their hair. So
I just think there's too much nuance in this conversation. You know, I'm no hairstylist, but I just feel like if the Supercuts products weren't designed for her hair, that there are many different products out there that are designed for her hair that are not in a multi-level marketing company. You guys let me know what you think below, but I just think that the this or that use in this example, I just think it's really sad because it's very clear that this person has been taken advantage of, and I hate that.
on Bumble one day and some girl just messaged me and she was like, hey, um, you know, let's talk. And she's like, have you ever heard of MONAT? I really forget how the conversation went fully, but she was like, have you ever heard of MONAT? And I was like, no, I've never heard of it. But I forgot that when I was
I'm going to pause this here because what she says after this is quite interesting. This whole, she was on Bumble and a girl messaged her, is such a red flag. And it's one that I didn't even recognize when I was in MLM, because these companies, these reps, they teach people to use dating apps, Facebook groups, and Instagram DMs as lead funnels. Unfortunately, she was never being seen. She was being prospected. She was being targeted. That's not authentic connection like a lot of these people in MLM like to say it is. This is cold marketing. This is sending somebody a random message trying to recruit them into an MLM company.
Forgot that when I was in cosmetology school, MONAT had just come out, and a year before I started school, and some of my instructors were talking about it, but they were saying such like mean things about it, like how the products don't work, how it's a scam, there's no way that you can have this much results, the people that are selling these products aren't even hairstylists, so how they even know. So I had completely forgot about that.
That all sounds factual, because what we do know about multi-level marketing companies is that the majority of people lose money or don't make any at all. What we do know is the immense pressure through undue influence to be a product of the product, which in turn is how the endless chain, the personal use consumption model, if you will, that's how this happens in multi-level marketing companies. So hearing that her instructors were saying, hey, this is a scam. I mean, it's a product based pyramid scheme, in my opinion. It's a multi level marketing company where statistics show what they show, and the fact that she's framing this as they had such, mean things to say, which leads me to facts are not attacks. But when you're looking through these things or hearing these things and you are used to a filter created by the multi-level marketing company, by the upline, you're not going to hear these things as factual. You're going to hear them as attacks. You're going to hear them as attacking your character because you have been so ingrained to believe in this company that becomes a part of your identity. That becomes a part of your spiritual or religious beliefs. I'll dive more into that here shortly, but it's really interesting and sad to hear this person say, well, they had some really mean things to say. I mean, are they mean or were they factual? And you just don't like them now because you're a part of that company.
He asked me if I had known about it, but anyways, so I was like, no, I never heard of it. What is it? She was telling me that it's a hair care company. At the time, it just was hair care. Now it's hair care, skincare, wellness, and makeup. But she was like, it's a hair care company. It's vegan. It's natural. These products are healthy for your hair, healthy for the environment. So I was like, why not try it out? So I got the product pack, the cheapest one you could get, which is $1.99. I got the product pack and I used the products and I loved them. At the time, I had sister locks that were pretty short. And like I said, I love the products. I loved it from the first wash that I did. But I didn't feel like I was being mentored properly by the girl that I signed up with. She kept pressuring me into like selling the products and getting VIPs. And I just felt like I don't know how to do this. Like, you're not really helping me. You're kind of just like throwing me out there to the wolves. And I just didn't like that. So, I ultimately decided after 2 months that I was leaving. And I came back time and time again.
We're going to talk about that a little bit more in depth, but I feel like this part is so relatable for so many people because sure, it's easy to blame a bad upline for why it didn't work, but the hard truth is that even with the best upline, the system still requires endless recruitment or VIP customers or a combination of both just to maybe even break even, just to break even. And most people don't. This is a structural flaw. This is not a leadership flaw.
To this business, and this time is different. I'm not going to give up on myself. At that time I still kind of have these things, but I had depression, I had anxiety, I had a lot of fear, I had a lot of worry. I didn't have faith in myself or believe that I could actually do this. Like, I could see the vision, but I couldn't see how to make it tangible and grounded, because my ultimate dream from the moment she told me about my nations was being on that stage as a senior executive director, sharing my story, and, you know, helping other people realize that, like, you can do this. And, this time around, before I signed up, I prayed about it. I prayed about it then, but I really prayed about it now. I was like, all right, God, you're bringing this opportunity back up to me, and I just want to make sure that this is really it, that I should really be doing this.
This part really, really gets to me because I used to do this too. I tied my faith, my spiritual beliefs to my business when I was in an MLM so tightly that if I failed, I felt like I failed God. MLMs are masters at spiritual manipulation. They use religious language to make quitting feel like it's a lack of faith, and sticking with it feels like obedience. But let me be clear, God doesn't require you to hit a rank to fulfill your calling. This is just sad to me because I do feel like she's being fed this. I feel like her upline is saying these things and she's like, yeah, you're right. I need to believe more. I see the vision. I just didn't believe. Just sad.
And, I went with my intuition, I went with my heart, and I just felt like it was right to do. And it was like, what, 5 years or 6 years, almost to the day when I first signed up. So I felt like that was also like, coinky dinky. But I just feel like now is the right time. Like, I feel more motivated, I feel more focused, I feel more ready. And I know that everybody has a story, and maybe this is mine. Maybe God knew that at that time it just wasn't going to stick, and the other time it wasn't going to stick, and the other time was going to stick. But this time He knew that I was going to show up and use my voice and speak and do all the things that I needed to do. So I just want to say, like, if you have started money a million times or come back to it a million times, you're not the only one. If you want to know more about the products, if you want to know more about the business, if you want to know more about my story, my DMs are always open. But I just want to make this quick video to tell y'all why I joined so many times and why this is the one. This is the one. It's gonna happen. Mark my words. Everything that I have saw in my mind is gonna happen because God's got me covered this time around, and I'm praying and keeping faith this time around that my journey isn't just gonna falter this time. I'm not just gonna give up on myself this time. I'm not just gonna run away from success this time. I'm not just gonna be afraid to put myself out there this time. Even though you see I got acne on my face, I got acne on my neck, I basically like practically roll out of bed to do this video. But I don't care. I'm gonna show up regardless of what I look like, because I'd rather do it and make progress and learn than to not do it.
Okay, first of all, I think she's a beautiful human being. I think she's a beautiful woman. I think she has such a fantastic voice. I don't know if she's got a mic, but her voice is so soothing. I love it. And I could absolutely see her being some kind of a beauty influencer on YouTube. If she's doing this and just hitting the record button and uploading it, and her voice sounds like this and she's just putting herself out there, I think she could be a really great content creator where she can actually control how much money that she is making through the videos and things that she's putting out. Imagine her as somebody who has acne, as she referred to, no makeup. I just think that it could be that she could be a really powerful beauty influencer rather than being a part of this MLM company. Let me know what you guys think, but I would listen to her voice. I would watch her videos. It's very soothing. I enjoy it. It's sad because you can tell that she's been taken advantage of. And like I said before, I just hate that.
Not show up and be like, thinking back years on the line, like, dang, I could have done that if I would have just started. So I'm starting. So yeah, thank you for watching today's video. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe and turn notification bell so you don't miss a video of mine. You can follow me on all my socials to follow along the rest of my journey if you want to see more shorter form videos of mine. And yeah, thank you for watching. Bye.
Tell me she couldn't be a fantastic YouTube content creator. If she's somebody that wears makeup or somebody that does product reviews, I think she could do phenomenal at that just from watching that 7 minute and 30-second clip. Okay, can we talk about why I believe people get drawn back into MLMs? I just would like to say, if that's you, just know that it's not your fault. MLMs are built to sell hope. Just like you heard her say, this time I believe, this time I'm going to do it, I'm going to actually show up. They depend on the building of that hope for you to stick around or to come back. They'll say things like, you just didn't believe in yourself enough. You weren't ready last time. This team is different. This leadership is stronger. But what's really happening is rebranded self-blame. You heard it in her voice. She was like, I just wasn't showing up. I didn't. Self-blame, that's programmed into the, I don't even know what I want to call that, but it's built into all of this. It keeps you buying without delivering. It's not about mindset at all. It's about simple math. I say simple, but MLMs make the math very difficult. So disregard that last part. It's not simple math. And they do that intentionally. Let's talk about what the numbers say from Monat's own income disclosure statement. It is linked in the video description. 92% plus of market partners earn an average of $161 a year before expenses, before they buy any products, that $199 starter kit that was mentioned, any products that they use throughout the year, before any expenses. The top 1% earners, most of them were early adopters or recruiters with large teams underneath them. That's how that works. The average person spends more on product than they ever will earn, and most never recover what they paid into Monat. This is not a bad work ethic problem. It's a bad business model problem. Faith is not a funnel. When faith gets mixed with MLM, it can start to feel like divine purpose. God brought this opportunity into my life. This is how I can help others. This is how I show up as a servant leader. But no faith system asks you to sell overpriced shampoo to prove your obedience. You're already valuable. You're already chosen. You're already worthy. MLMs exploit your belief in something bigger than yourself, and they dress their profits in purpose. That's not holy, that's manipulation. You deserve a business that pays you for your work. You deserve a community that doesn't cost hundreds a month. You deserve a mission that doesn't rely on others losing money for you to succeed. And I know how scary it is to let go of the dream that one day it'll work. But maybe the dream was never yours. Maybe it was sold to you, wrapped in empowerment language by a company that only profits when you don't. To the woman in this video and to anybody watching who sees themselves in her words, in her video, I see your heart. I see how hard you're trying. And I want you to know that you're not crazy for hoping this would work. You're not weak for wanting more. You're not naive for trusting people who said they had your best interest at heart. You're a human being. And this system was designed to take advantage of that. If you're starting to question things, that's not being negative. That's your critical thinking waking up. That's your strength showing up. And if someone told you not to watch content like this, ask yourself why. If they told you everyone outside the company is a hater or bitter, ask yourself what they're afraid of. What are they afraid that you're going to find out? Because truth doesn't need protection, but profit schemes do. You don't need to DM me. You don't need to follow me. If you want to quietly subscribe, that's cool. You don't need anyone to tell you what to do. What you can do is start watching more content that doesn't come from your upline. Learn what income disclosures actually say. Read the fine print. Sit with your questions without rushing to silence them. It's going to be uncomfortable. You're allowed to change your mind, though. You're allowed to walk away. You're allowed to choose peace over pressure. And whatever happens next, I hope you choose it because it feels free and not because someone told you it would finally make you worthy. You're already enough. You've always been enough, and you're not failing. The MLM is. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye, everybody.